Hello, my friends from YouTube. Today I have another quilt for you guys to see. I'm pinning this quilt to the leaders and I'm going to show you my setup. I'm going to do this pretty much to all the quilts that I do, make a video and upload it so you guys can see the entire process of what it takes to from start to finish to get a quilt done. Of course, without the piecing. This quilt was pieced by my friend Candy Fletcher, and here I am pinning it while I watch Jenny Dawn from Missouri Star Quilt. And you guys, when I opened this quilt, I was completely shocked of how perfect this quilt was. I mean, the piecing was flawless. It's just beautifully pieced. And I'm going to show you pictures at the end, and I'm going to make a series of different videos where I'm going to show you the quilting of it. Like by next week I'll have the first video available, and you'll see more details because you'll be able to see up close the piecing of this beautiful quilt. And for the first time, well, before I mention the batting, I'm pinning here. I usually pin the quilt. I don't sew to the leaders. As you can see right here, I do it with those big pins. You can also see some of the piecing there, how amazing and beautiful it is. I am not sure about the line of fabric that was used, but I'll research it and then I'll put it on the comments below if I find out. I think it's the fabric, of course, is probably by Elizabeth Hartman, which is the person that designed the pattern. We all know how she likes to do all these little animals, and they're so pretty. There's so many pieces in this pattern, it's just incredible. But when you see the quilt in person, the quilt is just absolutely beautiful. I wish I had the patience to do a quilt like this, but I don't. But I really enjoyed quilting it, and I pet it many times. I was actually debating whether to send it back because it's really nice. I'm kidding, Candy. I'm gonna send it back. So the back of this quilt was pieced in the center, and I'll show you that in a minute. So it stays a little bit more tight in the center than on the sides, of course, because it was pinned, but it was not a problem at all. It didn't give me any problems to to quilt it. It didn't have thick seams or anything. Everything went smoothly. And I'm rolling it here, making sure that everything's straight, pulling the canvas so that way it will stay straight. Her quilts are always square, so I never have any problems with adjusting it or anything like that. It's really simple I just have to make sure that I roll them nicely, because sometimes in the center it gets a little saggy. I guess the bar of my long arm are not completely, I guess it's so long that it's different in the corners and the center. So I always want to make sure that the quilt is actually straight as I roll it. And nothing, I'm just here looking, making sure that everything is good. And this quilt is, at first I wasn't sure how I was going to quilt this quilt, because I really wanted to emphasize on the on her piecing, because she took a while to piece this quilt. So hopefully I did it justice. You'll see it when I complete the series of videos that I'm going to be uploading. I did record a lot. It took me a while to send this quilt back and to finish it because I recorded so much, and recording takes a long time. But I finally got it done, and that's the top of the backing right here. And so like I said, I finally got it done, and I still have the quilt as I'm making this video, May 30, 2022. Still in my house, but I'm about to send it. I'm about to mail it back to the owner, and I hope she likes it. So as I'm speaking to you today, May 30, 2022, the combination of batting that I use on this quilt has been my favorite out of all the other battings that I have used, and I'm going to show you the ones that I did use a little bit in a few seconds. So I used the first layer that I put, the one I put on the back, the first one. So the top of the quilt has Dream Puff, and the bottom of the quilt has Quilter's Dream Cotton 100% pure cotton batting. And then the one that I put on the top is the Quilter's Dream Puff. You'll see it when I'm done. She sent me both, and I absolutely loved how it quilted. I loved it. So when I do my own quilts, that's what I'm gonna do to my own quilts, because I really like it. You see right here when I'm doing the backing, I had to take out the backing like 3 or 4 times to make sure that it was straight, because as I was rolling it, that center piece, that piece that of course is thicker than the rest, and it didn't want to align, it didn't want to fall on top of each other, it wanted to keep on shifting a little bit. So I had to unroll it and roll it. But after it was done, well, you're not going to see that here, but I did it 2-3 times. Took it off, put it back, took it off, put it back a few times, because I didn't want it to shift. I wanted that line to be exactly in the center. So if you just make sure when you're doing something like this that all the little seams stay right on top of each other, then you know it will be like a straight line down the back. Because it wanted to shift a little bit, I guess, because it started getting thicker, and so I started to kind of find the place to lay better, and so you gotta make sure that it doesn't do that. So finally I get it done, and then in the next little clip I'm going to be showing you the battings that I use. Like I mentioned, I absolutely loved it, quilting with those battings, and the fabric that she used on this quilt was so beautiful and so nice to quilt with. Like I mentioned, I don't know the line, but I will put it on the comments below. And I'm going to put the links of all the things that I used on this quilt, the batting and the pattern and all that good stuff. So I'm going to leave you here with me, Jenny Doan in the background, and then other shows that I was watching as I was quilting this quilt or putting it together. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions, let me know, and I will try to answer any questions you might have. As you can see, when I finish here, the center part of the quilt is a little bit more straight. It doesn't sag as much, and I'm trying to make sure that everything is the same. So everything worked out great, but I took my time making sure that it did. Again, thank you so much for watching, and stay into the end, because I'm going to show you pictures of some of the little animals before they got quilted, so that way next time you can see it after they get quilted. Thank you for watching.